observers, and we're going to look at the first observer because it's got a rather interesting image of Mandela. We've seen so many images of him as former president emerging from prison. This is 1962, an observer photograph taken, let's just try and blow it up for you, which was taken on his last trip to Britain before he was actually jailed. This is from the University of Dundee Michael Pito collection. And it's a really striking image. It shows a completely different Nelson Mandela, doesn't it?
Well, you know, younger people talk to me about Mandela. We have to remember, we hadn't seen an image of him until the end of the 80s because they banned him completely. He was locked away. So this is the way he looked to us. So when he walks out in 1990, 91, this is a different man, an older man. So this is the image Mandela held for 25 years. For the world. And now, because of the ubiquity of social media and so forth, we see who he is. And we have to remember, this is the way he was for 27 years.
And he was, you know, in his early days, a fantastically well-equipped, good lawyer, you know, in his younger days. And therefore, when he was, you know, appearing in court in 1964, when he was about to face the, you know, possible death sentence, he conducted his own, you know, trial. And if you read his, you know, his submissions, you know, I think they are one of the best submissions you'll ever read.
But I we should reflect, of course, that you are trained in that very arcane art yourself. So,
yeah, nothing like
well judged.
And
I'm married to one as well. So
right. But was he a different man when he emerged compared to how he went into Robben Island? Do you think, in terms of his overall physical and mental makeup?
I would say, for my part, I think in his younger days, you know, he was prepared to do anything he had to do to get equality and fight for it.
Yeah.
But I think once he was inside and he had reflection on life, he came back out and said, well, actually, you know, I forgive anyone, you know, who may have harmed me. So there was a different approach in relation to what may have started.
And one of the things that Richard Dowden said, to agree with you, one of the things Richard Dowden said, because we had the African style, was beautiful. He said that Mandela took that time and developed another part of his personality. He decided, it was a conscious, which is what makes him a hero. He decided where he was going to be.
And we spoke to the former bishop of Botswana and said maybe this was his time in the wilderness. This is where he found part of his spirituality as well.
Yes, his 40 years. And also Desmond Tutu said he was like a diamond you find you bring up out of the earth, and suddenly.
But I think on his spirituality also, if you look at some of the interviews, they ask him, do you believe in God? And he says, that's my private matter. So he's not one to impose any of his own views on anyone else.
And you don't have to believe in God to be spiritual.
And that's what he
does. Exactly.
But anyway, they're giving details here of this, next 8 days of both state official mourning and, of course, to be reflecting tonight, the family as well having to go to their private grief in a very public arena. But there's not too much elsewhere on the Sunday. This is Sunday People has got their exclusive Queen's Historic Abbey tribute to Nelson Mandela. We're now told she's not going to Johannesburg or Pretoria to attend the state funeral. That would be the Prince of Wales. And you've also seen on the front of the Independent there, Father of a Nation, and perhaps that is the more familiar former president, the father of the nation image, perhaps we've got now.
It's a strange sort of headline. We were talking about this, how Mandela unites the world while his country remains divided. Well, of course, we're not in South Africa, so we're not living the day-to-day. But of course, we are in an age where we need we want genuine heroes. This is one for sure.
This is an interesting point, though, because we'll have all the reporters, the camera crews arriving there to report on the funeral in the morning, but they will also no doubt be looking at modern South Africa. The townships are still there, the poverty is still there, some say the injustice is still there as well. And will we be getting a different assessment of his legacy as a result of that?
I think what you will get is a comparison to what President Mandela said in that trial, where he said he would be prepared to die for freedom, justice and equality, and has South Africa today, you know, enacted those principles. And I would say, looking at South Africa from far, I think South Africa has got a long, long way to go to achieve President Mandela's vision.
And also, we don't talk about the situation that Mandela has and Obama has in a way. They have a double presidency. And that presidency has to do with not only being the president, they're also presidents of countries that are racist and that have been deeply divided over race. So they have to sort of negotiate and navigate these two places. Mandela was very clear that he would be a one-term president. He would set out the consensus, and it would take a long time.
And let the people then take it forward.
Exactly.
You've gone for the Telegraph front page next. Soldiers to face 11 more trials, in inverted commas, over Iraq deaths. MOD ordering probes into conduct of troops. An exclusive by Ben Farmer, defence correspondent.
You know, what's not fair, and I come from a military family.
Sure.
I've had people in the military, and I support the military. But what's not fair, our journalists and MPs who don't really explain to people that there are rules of war that we decided on. The United Kingdom was a leader at Nuremberg and everywhere else in deciding that war is fought under rules. And if you break the rules, you are a criminal, just as in any other situation. This particular sergeant said on camera, now I don't know if it's his, but he said, I have broken the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention exists. That's the way it is.
On that, I think the important thing is this. In our country, we have a legal system that we are proud of. And this sergeant has gone through a legal system, before an independent judge, and therefore he's been found guilty on evidence after that. As a result of that, when it's reported that certain people say that the sentence should now be quashed and he should not go to prison because he might be hurt by others, I think it's absolutely absurd. If you commit a crime, you pay a price. In relation to our armed forces, we have some of the highest caliber armed forces with great integrity in the world who are compliant with international conventions, but when you breach those, you have to be held before the law.
This is touching on something else again. This is not to do with enemy competence as it was in Helmand province in Afghanistan. This is Iraqi civilians, 11 Iraqi civilians during Britain's time there after the 2003 invasion. Each hearing, which is an inquest type hearing, will be averaging 3 months, and they'll cost the taxpayer a total of £2 million. Now, inevitably there will be a public reaction to that, but this is something else again. This is not just what happened within combat, within war. This is how we treated people in their own country.
And it is, as you say, the United Kingdom is led on defining the rules of war. And this is how we proceed in this matter, and it's important.
I agree. I guess on that very point, I think the key argument there is that they were in our custody. If they're in our custody and somebody dies, then naturally you have to have an investigation to see that people were not treated in any other way than they would have been treated.
Yeah, I mean, remember Abu Ghraib pictures of the United States forces. Right, Sunday Times.